Hi folks, so for the last demo, we're going to take a look at the clothing demo. In this scene, I have set up a character that has multiple layers of sprites where you can customize. The idea is that you're able to create characters where you can customize things like clothing and hair, and utilities and whatever else, things like weapons. Again, really quick, in play mode, taking a look at what this video does. A guy can still walk around with our same controller that we've set up for everything else. And we can change, we can set him up to have full plate of armor, give him some weapons. And this is all dynamic, interactive, like at game time. So here's how SpriteMan lets you do that. You can attach a sprite manager. Again, you remember you have to attach a sprite manager to a sprite, to an object that has a sprite renderer. And we also have our build border here, and this is on our main sprite, on our main managed sprite. And underneath that, we have created a bunch of children objects that all they have are sprite renderers, and they have a sprite manager attached. They have their billboarding turned off because really only this root managed sprite needs a billboarder. And this character also has, this root node also has a sorting group. This is a one of the Unity features for sorting sprites. And basically, here's what that does. So, for example, when I duplicate this character, and then I turn him around so that, like the sprites are kind of overlapping one another. If I turn off the sorting groups on these characters, this is kind of what they end up looking like. See, they kind of overlap one another in strange and bad ways. But with the sorting group, Unity finally came out with sorting groups a while ago. And that basically groups everything, in underneath this guy to match correctly when things overlap one another very closely. All right, so taking a closer look at the multiple layers of our customizable character here, all of these layers, you'll notice, are set up with their sprite managers pretty much the same way. So each one has a sprite manager that has, for the most part, the same settings. They all have the same states with the same amount of frames. Okay, between head, torso, legs, feet. All of this stuff is set up the same. And okay, let's take a quick look at the prefab to understand a little bit more easily what's going on here. We select, so this is the RPG man in the prefabs characters folder, and his basically his asset stuff is underneath the demo models cartoon. This is another cartoon model, so cartoon men. Here's his animations. These animations are pretty much the same as our knight character. There's idle, run, attack, and jump. The sprites are, and this one uses a lot more sprites. So first we have a giant sprite sheet that basically is in this form. It starts with the main body sprite, these are some sprites called LPC sprites that I found online. So we have sprites for different types of things. We have the main body sprite. We have different feet, corresponds to different shoes, all in the exact same positions. And these sprites were basically made so that they can just be layered on top of each other. Okay, the last piece to mention is that the part that switches out different uh, the different clothes is done through this little script called RPG character. And this is just a little demo script. I mean, the thing that I want to show off is that it's mainly using this manager copy from method, okay, which allows you to basically create multiple states, have them in something like an inventory where you can basically have a collection of things. It's an array of different things that you can put on different parts of this character. And through script, you basically do that through something simple like one line of code. Of course, it's a little bit more complex because you have to actually find the thing that you want to replace and the actual, uh, the actual body part that you need to apply it to, the actual sprite manager that you need to apply it to. But it all boils down to doing it through one line of code, which replaces the existing sprites with full setup with the new sprites. And I'll get into how that works specifically in a future video as well.